It's been several years since I did this interview with Abi, and I would say that not much has changed in the world since then, in the sense that when people try to do certain things outside the law, then there's a good chance they're going to have a lot of complications. But it's a very interesting interview, and I hope the boys will find it as interesting as the girls do. Also, I want to say that, as you can see, the picture is very small, and here's the reason. After I started making the Max and Max videos, shortly after that, which was several years ago, I didn't know as much about video as I do now. A friend of mine was telling me that I needed to back up all of my files on the computer with a certain kind of device, and I didn't know enough about how to use it. And so one day I hit a button on it that I thought was going to back up 100 gigs of video, wiped it out. I had to go around and film a lot of things over again, but some things I couldn't film over again. And so anything that started with an A or a B, and a lot of things that started with a C, all of them were gone. Abi starts with A, and she's one of 3 Abis that I have interviewed. And so A, B, and C were pretty much eliminated, and I had to use what little I had, and so this is what little I had. So please enjoy it as it is, because the mosquitoes are biting me out here, and you know, sometimes things just don't go the way you want to go, but the quality in the content is still there. And Abi, she was pretty gutsy, and she wanted you to know what she was going through. So give it a listen and take what she says to heart. Today we're here with
Kiona. She's 14 months.
What is your situation, Abi?
I was married to a Mexican in Mexico, and I want to move back here to the States, and we're not able to get him over in the quickness that we want.
You say you were married. What's that?
We are married. We were married in Mexico. So.
And now I know about these games about dropping things. I'm going to pick this up, but I'm only going to do it 50 more times, and that's all. So you were married in Mexico. What city, by the way?
In Chapala.
And he's still in Chapala?
No, he's now in Cabo San Lucas.
Let's be real honest, and what's going on here? Obviously, you are a citizen of the U.S., and your daughter, well, wait a minute. She's not a citizen, is she, of the U.S.?
Yes, she is.
How is that so?
I came here when I was pregnant to have her.
Oh, okay. So you had your baby here.
When I was, right after I got married and found out that I was pregnant, I got very sick and decided for me and the baby that it would be best if I came to the States to have her. After coming to the States, I got a job and kept going to the doctor and made sure that everything was okay. And once we found out everything was okay, we decided that we would like to move here to the States and try to get my husband here. And after them telling us it would be 8 months to a year, and we really wanted him to be here before she was born, we just kind of resorted to our last resort, which was he tried to pass illegally on the day that she was born, actually. And the day that she was born, he tried to pass, and he was arrested.
Now, pass, I feel like you're talking Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to pass. You better use a little more clear exactly what we're talking about here, okay?
Jump the line, the border. He's trying to run under tunnels and get into the States.
Okay. Well?
He was arrested. He didn't get it. And after being in jail for 3 nights, they let him out, and that was in Tijuana. And after being in jail for 3 nights, they let him out and told him to go back home to wherever he was from. And he flew to Texas, ran on the border, and tried to pass again in Texas, and was arrested again.
Okay, so he was arrested, They told him go back where he came from, and we know, of course, they know that doesn't do any good, telling somebody that. Then you say he flew to Texas, and what happened there?
He flew to the Texas border, Michelin, Texas, and tried to pass on that side. There's obviously two ways to get into the States. Tijuana's on the California side, and over by Michelin is on the Texas border.
But you don't mean he flew into Texas. He flew near the Texas.
Yeah, he flew to the Texas border, right on the Mexican soil, but right to the border between Texas and Mexico. What I understand, what I've been told, is they paid someone to get them fake papers.
They?
Well, it was my brother-in-law and my husband trying to pass together.
Okay, so he and his brother.
Right. And after getting to the border, what I understand is everybody gets in a line to pass when you're walking.
We're talking about they're using a coyote, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Exactly.
which we will talk about in another lesson or two. So they hired a coyote. Do you want to tell us what they had to pay?
I personally sent $1,000.
Woo.
And I think, obviously, he had money from that he had saved, so I'm going to say $1,300 to $1,500.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, but then that's pretty much the going rate for a short trip. Now,
Not guaranteed.
not guaranteed, and what I want everybody listening to understand is that the coyote is the person, coyote in English, called a coyote because he has to be sneaky, and many of these people are wicked people. They don't mind ripping off their fellow Mexicans or Hispanics from other countries. They do it all the time. They can be deadly people to be involved with. Sometimes they leave people out in the desert to die and to wander, and the people die of heat, thirst, and starvation. This happens all the time. I want you to know something. This happens every day. You don't hear about it all, and you'll never hear about it all. So her husband and his brother were in with the group because these coyotes like to make lots of money at one time, so they send a lot of people over together. Just in a single night, they can make thousands of dollars. Right, Abby?
Yeah, right.
So how good of an investment was that? Tell us about that.
Basically, when I would be able to get in touch with my husband, he did not know where his coyote was. He was left in an apartment. Nobody brought him food. They were told... Obviously, I don't know if you guys know Tijuana is very dangerous.
It sounds now like you're saying your husband, he hasn't gotten across the border yet, you're saying.
Yeah, right. He's in Mexico as we speak.
Okay. No, but as
At
far
this
as
time, yeah.
in our little story here, so he hasn't gotten across the border, and
Right.
he's getting ready to come across. He thinks, but he can't find his coyote.
Yeah, right. The guy just says, stay here and I'll come and get you when it's time. So basically every night he would say, well, he called and said, tonight we're going to do it. And they would go to, which I'm not even really sure, they would go to the place where he was going to have them pass, the little...
You said that he flew over toward the Texas border, so I'm mixed up now.
Well, his first try to pass was in Tijuana. And that's the incident that I'm more aware of the details.
And you sent him
I sent him from my working in my pocketbook $1,000.
and all that money was wasted in just a few seconds because he was caught, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How long was he in the U.S. before he was caught?
He never even got over.
He didn't get over. Who caught him?
The first time in Tijuana, he was in a car, and the guy coyote told him that everybody should dress in marked clothes like Tommy Hilfiger or American brands, and they would think, hopefully they would think they were just rich Mexicans that lived in the States. And they were passing with his brother, my husband, his brother, an actual American citizen Mexican, and then a girl. And they all have fake names now. You know, it's not Diego and Jose, they're different names. And I guess the girl in the front seat forgot her name. That was on her paper that she was giving, so they surrounded their car and arrested all of them.
So the American police or immigration, they stopped him on just barely on the Mexican side.
Yeah, right, still in Mexico.
Okay, so that money was completely wasted because he didn't even get out of the country.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And then he went to Texas.
Right.
He went to the Texas border. Now, what about that? How did that...
Basically, him and my brother-in-law, they had their fake papers, and they got in a line, and they randomly checked people. I was told that women that had small babies were just let pass. They didn't even check their papers. And I'm thinking this is still on the Mexicans, like this. I don't know if these are Mexican police or if it's only American police. By the time my brother-in-law actually was able to pass, they checked his papers and they said it was fine. With my husband, they did a random check in the computer, and obviously his face popped up from when he was caught in Tijuana.
Ah.
And they arrested him again.
Did you send money that time?
No. What happened is his coyote said that he would, because he was not passed, he said, I'll help you in Texas. I have people in Texas, and because you've already paid me, I'll try to help you again.
So he came across the Texas-Mexico border.
Right. And was arrested there and put in jail again for 3 days.
Well, didn't he get anywhere at all?
No, he never got even on American soil again.
Again?
Yeah, again, twice.
And so he was put in an American jail.
Yep.
For 3 days, and then what happened?
After they let him out, he just went back home.
How long ago it happened, how old is Kiona?
She's over a year. She's 14 months.
And so that's when this happened.
Right.
Do you recommend this kind of an adventure?
I don't recommend it. I mean, I guess it depends on your situation. Obviously, we were a little more desperate. We were having our child, and we wanted to both be there. So, I guess you just do what you have to do to be a family, and if you feel like that's a sacrifice you're willing to make, then you make it.
But he never got here.
Right.